Hi guys, happy Monday. This week you guys have an exam at the end of the week, but we got to do one more day of word problems to make sure we really understand what our answers are representing. So let's start with the first one. As I'm reading, I'm going to annotate at the same time. Oceanside Bike Rental Shop charges an $11 fee plus $6 per hour for renting a bike. Jessica paid $53 to rent her bike. How many hours did she pay to have the bike checked out? So, first thing, really important, what's our unknown? What are we looking for? And we're looking for how many hours. And that's going to be our unknown. So, let H equal hours. Now let's go back and see what we could translate within this word problem to help us write an equation. So $11 fee plus, we know what plus means, addition. $6 per means to multiply. And an hour, we now know is H. For renting a bike, she paid. So if you pay, that is your total, $53 to rent a bike. So let's take that info and write the equation. 11 plus $6 per hour equals $53. Now we're going to take this equation and we're going to solve it to see how many hours she actually has the bike out for. Okay, I see no parentheses, so I'm going to go straight to the solving square and no distribution is needed. You guys are pros at solving squares by now, so we know we could bring down the 6h because there's nothing to combine it with. Equals, combine this side, and we get 42. My last step, divide by my coefficient. And I know that h is equal to 7. But what does that mean? So before we said that h is going to equal hours. Now that we know that h equals 7. So that means that Jessica rented the bike for 7 hours. Okay, we gave our answer a meaning according to the word problem. I didn't say that she had 7 bikes. I didn't say she had 7 dogs or 7 oceans. She had 7 hours. Let's try it again. Nancy sold 1/2 of her comic books, and then she bought 9 more. She now has 16. How many comic books did she begin with? Okay, again, let's go find those keywords and translate them. Nancy sold half of. So of, in this case, is going to mean to multiply, because half of her comic books. And then she bought. If you're buying more, you're adding to what you have. And then she has, so her total number of comic books is 16. But what's the question asking us? How many comic books did she begin with? So my unknown is comic books. So I'm going to use C for comic books. Okay. And then over here, comic books is C. So the equation is going to be 1/2 times my comic books plus the 9 more Nancy buys, and that equals the 16 that she has in total. So let's use the equation to find out how much she started with. All right, again, there was no parentheses, so I went ahead and made the solving square. I'm going to put my variable over here and 16 over here. And the -9 because it crossed over, and then bring it down. 1/2 C equals to, I put that in my calculator, or I do it mentally, and I get 7. Then I have to divide by this fraction, divide by the fraction, and I get C equals to 14. But 14 what? 14 comic books. Nancy started with 14 comic books. All right, and now number 3. This one looks really, really wordy, but do we really need all these words? Let's go find out. Charlie's supply store had a sale on water bottles. He started the day with 400 water bottles. Each customer bought 20 water bottles. At the end of the day, he had 160 left. How many customers came to the store? All right, so let's start there with that question. It's asking me how many customers. So that's my unknown. So how many customers? I'm going to use C again for customers. And let's go through and translate this problem. We don't need this first sentence. It doesn't help me. He started the day with 400. That's important. Then each customer, each is multiply, and then customer, they bought 20 water bottles. And I know before we said when you buy something, that's adding. But we're talking about how many bottles are in a store, and if you buy them, the store is losing them. So it's going to be minus 20 water bottles. And at the end of the day, he had 160. So that's how many were left in the store. So now let's write that equation. We have 400 minus the 20 for each customer is going to equal 160 remaining. And we're going to use that to find out how many customers bought water bottles. I want you guys to go ahead and try to solve this on your own, and let's see if we get the same answer. I got C equals to 12. And if I'm going to tell you what that 12 means according to my word problem, it's going to tell me that 12 customers came to the store. All right, guys. And that's how you give a value, give some information about your answer according to your word problem. If you have any questions, type them in at the end of the video. If not, let us know in class. See you guys tomorrow.